because I forgot something really important. Actually, we want to thank our sponsors, OpenSUSE, Univention, Boxcryptor, and Copano, of course. I hope somebody is there already of you. For sponsoring the conference, for making this possible. And also thanks to our media partners, which is the O'Reilly Media, D. Verlag, and of course the awesome guys from the OpenSUSE video team and C3 VOC Media CCC team. We all know they do a great job. Thank you for all your efforts.
Hello, I want today to take the opportunity to start the conference with a bit of the background on why we are doing all this, and personally why I am doing this, about the strategy and the future of ownCloud. And I will not talk too much about what we do. I leave this to the team, and the team will tell you in detail what we have achieved feature-wise and what we have planned on the roadmap. And I'm very proud of the team and want to present my team to you. Let me talk a bit more about where we go and why we are doing this. So let me start with introducing where I come from. I founded a co-working space in Nuremberg, and I always cared about how people work and how they collaborate. And in that co-working space, I met Holger, and he was sitting there and founding a little company called ownCloud. So that was the first touch point for me with ownCloud. And soon I started to work for ownCloud because basically I'm a full stack developer and not a co-working space founder from where I come from. But this is a topic which was very, very close to what brings my fulfillment in my life, to care about how people can work together efficiently and how can people work better together than alone. And the co-working space was a bit of the infrastructure I spent to the city here, and ownCloud was very promising for me because I can take the opportunity to shape the future of collaboration. How people work at home with their families, share images, and how people work in their workplaces. And for me, it is very important to do this by exceptional user experience and uncompromising privacy. Privacy is so much important that ownCloud becomes the most important software for me when I start a startup. When a team starts on a project, you need to have that email communication, and you need to have good communication channels, of course. But then if you start working and collaborating, it comes down to ownCloud so that you can have your files under your control, don't share your stuff with people out there in the US, and you really can collaborate in an easy and efficient way. So this is my vision, my very personal vision, and where I come from. Working for ownCloud now for 5 years, and this is why I do this. So this vision is not so much away from the wordings of the ownCloud company is using. I'm very happy that we are very close together. And let me go a bit more into the strategies, how we are doing this. And I think the first thing is we are open. We are open source. We will stay open always. This is very important for all the teams. I would have not a single developer anymore if we would change this, because these people are really into open source. There's no question about it. We will stay open source. And we learned something very important. So ownCloud needs to be a sustainable project. We want to spend our time we are investing into ownCloud in a way where we know that ownCloud will always be there, and ownCloud will stay as a product and on the market. We want to use ownCloud also in 10 years. So open and sustainable is not so easy to do, but it's this combination which is so important. And that's also why the ownCloud Foundation is so important, that we found it now and we achieved this milestone. And it's only one example, but this is the next milestone in being open and sustainable. Christian Schmitz will have a talk on the ownCloud Foundation, and if you want to be part of the ownCloud Foundation, have a look on the website or in the talk. I think this is a great opportunity for everyone here. We build extensible and secure code. This means you all can collaborate. You can have your use cases built up on ownCloud because it's extensible and modular. And we built a very professional software. It's secure code. It's enterprise-grade code, which is really, really possible to use in a production environment. This is really important. And this is also a thing which changed a bit for ownCloud. ownCloud was not always sort of when you think of high-quality software, but this is where we want to go. And this is a very, very major strategy. We want to have professional development involved. I want to have people involved in this project who really know what they are doing when they start coding. And this defines our community a lot for me. We are building an ecosystem with partners and people in the community who are experts at what they are doing, about encryption, about storages, about how to handle files, about performance. And we are listening to people on the use cases. And this is not only a project because of we are doing what we want. We are doing this together with you in a huge ecosystem. About our partner strategy, Jörg, our partner manager, will have a talk. He's quite new to the company and he's doing an awesome job. Thank you, Jörg. I really recommend you to be part of that talk. The last point here is one of the most important things. Innovation and leading technology is our passion. ownCloud is all about passion. These people do this because they are really convinced and motivated about this idea, and they have all their own reasons why they are doing this. So, these are all kind of developers, right? And we really strive to have, we want to be experts at what we are doing, and these people, this team I'm working with, they are experts at what they are doing. They are really a great team. They are so good in what they do, and they are getting better and better. And so ownCloud needs to bow to that. We need to use latest technology. We can't have experts on legacy technology. It's not working. Latest technology for ownCloud means we will have great developers working on ownCloud. This is a very important thing and a very important strategy. So these people, smartest people I know around development, they will bring innovation in an area where we have big competitors. But our product, and our little community and ecosystem is bringing a lot of innovation to that area. And I'm so proud of that team. And I'm proud to see you here, and I want to welcome you to the ownCloud conference in 2018. Thank you. This is not all. Let's have a little deep dive in what we achieved. According to these strategies, one of the most important things is to have a stable and high-quality software. And here are some numbers about what we achieved in our quality assurance. Something new is we have coding standards now, we have static code analyzers, and we have improved testing frameworks, we care about our quality. And having a close look at our numbers for the testings, we have more unit tests because we just have unit tests with every pull request we do. We had unit tests before, but unit tests are not enough. We also have acceptance tests, and these acceptance tests have grown to really ensure that our software is doing what we expect it to do. We have grown the acceptance tests to up to 2,200 tests, and it's continuously growing. This is a huge thing. Especially because these tests are not run in one environment. So some of you have one ownCloud running, and we care about a huge test matrix. We test with different databases, with different kinds of storages. We test with antivirus integrations or not. We test encrypted storages or not. We test different PHP versions and so many combinations of all of that, all of our apps. So this is a huge test matrix, and it's grown the coverage we have achieved in this test matrix. And we have a dedicated QA team built up for this, to achieve this, because this is a major, really major task in the last years, and we have invested a lot. And Tobias already said we have also gained some success out of that. So it's not like we have less support tickets because ownCloud is not running anymore. We have, while having a growing customer base, less support tickets coming in. And the support tickets which are open right now are at 60% of what they have been half a year ago. This 60% number. This is so awesome. And if you work with ownCloud on the latest version, I think there will a release today, be today about the 10.0.10. Vincent, is that correct? We are really proud about this version because this version will be the most stable and best ownCloud we ever had. Thanks, Vincent and team. Few more numbers which are really impressing. So I was astonished by my QA team, really. We are running the whole test suites on over 100 workers, and they're doing 2,000 days of testing time each month. This is so much. They are running every night. They are running on every pull request. On the pull requests, the tests need 8 hours CPU time. And they are finished under 30 minutes. Because my developers would have too many coffee breaks if that would be a different thing, right? So we plan to have this time even more down on 15 minutes to work efficiently and have a good coverage on testing. I think we agree that this is something you demanded to ownCloud, for ownCloud. You wanted us to become a stable product, and we invested heavily into QA. And I think we are on a very good way. Thank you for that hint. Thank you for your feedback. And we tried really to listen to you. But there's more. For the future of ownCloud, I think there's more mindset we need to have a shift in. Right? There's stuff, when you think about ownCloud, which is different today and in the past. And we have a lot of discussions about this, because in the former times we were doing it like this, and now we're doing it like that, or how should we do it? We think a lot about it. And let me share with you what I think we should do in the future of ownCloud. First and most important, let us use latest technologies. Not only support the latest PHP version, which is a very natural thing to do. Of course we are doing this. But there's more high-performance protocols, HTTP 2. But we need to switch a lot in our stack to do this, so we should go down that route. We need to do this. We are building new clients. The Phoenix is a project name for our standalone web front end. So the whole web front end is reworked. It's split out of the core. It's a standalone front end. You can run it in app or you can run it on a different server, however you like. This is ongoing work. And it's based on one of the on the latest technologies, on the Vue.js framework, which is latest technology. And we are really happy to work with that because it motivates us to use the latest and greatest stuff. And it really works very nicely. You can learn Vue.js as a JavaScript developer in 30 minutes. The guide is really very cool. And everyone can start work on the Phoenix project very quickly. So I think this is a very good reason to use that framework. And the iOS app and the App Store is a bit older now. Software code is not so maintainable anymore. So we decided some time ago to build a new one. Michael Stigl and his team around the clients is building a great mobile app. We hope that this code base will be exceptional in terms of educations, will show how to build an iOS app. With this example, we have gathered the best iOS developers we could get. And I think I can say thank you to Felix Schwarz at this point, an outstanding developer who pushed this project so much with the rest of the iOS team. And I recommend you to have a look at this code because this is really great software. This is where we want to go. We, talking about the clients, have a big challenge at ownCloud to care more about our APIs. We need to document them, we need to rework them, we need to redesign them. There needs to be versioning for APIs to have proper change in APIs. And our protocols. This is a demand I hear very often because you also want to use these APIs and all our clients need to use the same APIs in a clean way. I think this is something we were not so good in the past, but in future we really will care about this topic. All our clients will use the same API and this will be a documented thing, and the protocols we use will be, of course, open standards alongside with all the stuff we will document on top. Product quality and coding styles, the way how we work. It moved so much. The team was understanding the way we worked was not ideal, and we were sitting together and the team found a very good way on how they wanted to work and changed. The change came from the team, which is making me very proud because I didn't need to use the hammer to put the change into the team, which is very difficult, right? The team is using sprint plannings today and suddenly my planning capabilities are much better. I can tell you when will be the next release or the release after that. That's working quite nicely. You need to do it to understand how it works, and this team is doing this in a very good way now. And we want to work test-driven or behavior-driven, whatever it will be. But we understood that we need to write the tests also upfront coding stuff to specify our features and to enlarge the acceptance test framework and to allow our product management to understand the feature set of ownCloud. There's some very, very cool projects out there who are doing this already, and we're having a close look at this to learn from them. And we really want to become better at this. I think this is very, very important for our motivation and to become experts at what we are doing. Last point is a bit more on the product. So our strategy was, in the last 2 years, we had a big monolithic ownCloud. We split it all this in parts, pushed out functionality into apps. Every app can be released independently today. So if there's a bug, we are very quick in fixing stuff because we don't need to make the QA and the release for all the software, we can just release that one single app, and we can test this app's dependencies. And this is so much more efficient. Modularity is so important. And now, when we split out the front end with a Phoenix project out of the core stays as a backend only part with some APIs and an app framework, managing users, groups, managing storage and files, and a bit more. Not so much more. It became small. And this small core, it's the smallest core we ever had. It's now maintainable. It's now touchable. We can do change in that core. Before that, having all the front-end code in there and mixed apps into all of that, we could not have made a change into the core, architectural change, real change. So we now need to think about to build an SDK-like core. We need to think about to use industry-leading framework components like this. For example, we could have a Symfony-based core, which is a PHP framework, which is used in lots of very major enterprisey projects, and ownCloud core could become one of them, or we could at least use the components of Symfony a lot. And that would help so much to not code everything on our own, but use a logging mechanism which is used by so many projects. This is also part of being open source. This is also part on having good quality in the code. Yeah. So clean modules based on industry-leading framework components is, I think, bringing more efficiency to our development, and is a big chance now because our core is ready to be touched. There's two topics which are important for me when we go hands-on on the core. The user management needs some rework. And I would like to propose the strategy to have OpenID connect everywhere. This is based on OAuth 2. It's an authentication flow. OpenID Connect is the technology I hear from even large companies. Oh, we want to get rid of single sign-on SAML integrations. We want to use OpenID Connect today. Because although the big IP firewalls are offering that protocol, and it's a clever thing, it's much more easy to integrate with that. And I think it makes sense that we, in future, have OpenID Connect everywhere, for every client, for every part where we use authentication. And this is something we need to do in the next months. And the storage. Yeah. ownCloud is often measured performance-wise. What do you measure? You measure the upload and the download. And RNet is having quite good requirements on our performance. You've seen that right now. Holger's shown you some numbers. So let's care about the storage, because if you build up a data center with disks, with modern SSD disk space, and this is bringing performance a lot, and you put ownCloud on top, this ownCloud needs to become not the bottleneck at this point, and to utilize the performance of the underlying file system, whatever you use, and to provide this performance also via ownCloud to your users. Otherwise, there will be always a limit. So we want to really scale. We want to really scale with the performance and the file system. And there's different strategies we worked out, and Jörn Dreyer is pushing a lot on this, designing and redesigning the APIs of the storage internally, the mechanisms we work and so on. And he's doing a workshop on the storage tomorrow. You're invited to discuss and to understand our plans and the details. This storage rework will be a major highlight for me in the ownCloud development I'm part of. And it makes me very proud to have that innovation into that product. So saying that, come to the workshop. I think this is really, really thrilling and innovation. So this is what I want to achieve in the future of ownCloud. But right now we need to have some focus. And let me come down to the topics where we have identified, where we need to have the focus when we think about ownCloud and ownCloud's future. We are listening to the market and the customers and our partners a lot. This is very important. You need to understand that we are very open. Come to us and speak to us, like on this conference, but at every day in the year. So we want to know what you're using ownCloud like and what you're doing with ownCloud. This is very important because we're building this for you. I think we can agree, and this is the top item here, the end user experience is one of the most important things. It's on purpose here on the top, and it's the reason why we build new clients. This is bringing offline capabilities to our clients, standalone clients for the web front end. And this is the part where we really can say we want to become leading technology. There's lots of talks for that. I've highlighted some of them around the Phoenix project on the iOS. I really recommend to have a look at the iOS SDK. This is great software. Collaboration. I'm very happy to meet so many collaboration partners here, and that we have that collaborating editing is a solved thing, and we have very good products out there integrating with ownCloud nicely. But there's more. We can automate the processes you need to do every day can be automated via APIs and via ownCloud, and this becomes full workflows, defining how you work with your files in your day-to-day life. And there's one big thing. I called it archiving for now. It's a topic about the old files. So the most automations we saw is about how to spread files to people, to the right people, and to review something, maybe, before you spread the files. And then files become legacy and become old, and you want to get rid of them again, or you want to have them out of the focus, maybe somewhere else, on the other storage system, maybe, on a tape system. And let's call that topic archiving for now. This archiving becomes really important because ownCloud is seven years old now, and you're using ownCloud for quite some time, and the files in your ownClouds are quite old now. So archiving needs to be solved. The whole collaboration also tackles integrations into our software like Outlook, and there's a talk about this. If you're interested more in the topic around archiving, please contact Patrick Meyer and me, and we can have another talk. There's nothing scheduled about this, but we can sit together on this topic. We are really interested on your requirements on this topic. ownCloud is a platform. So when we have users and groups and permissions and file access, what should we do with that? ownCloud becomes a platform, means let's build applications on top using files now, using the users available in the system. And there's great examples for that. For instance, our customer portal. Tom Needham has built that customer portal and will introduce it today in the talk. He will show what we built on top of ownCloud. Wind River is using it as a software delivery platform. This is great. This is a platform based on ownCloud. Or our own brander. This is how you brand ownCloud. This is an ownCloud app, basically. And it's basically made on an ownCloud as a platform part. I think you have more ideas around that if you fully integrate ownCloud into your workflows and into your business processes. And of course, let me welcome the Copano guys on the conference. They are doing groupware. Not so much the file thingies, but the groupware. Like email and calendars and contacts. And that was always a very close topic to ownCloud. I think it makes sense to integrate with groupware partners to have all these functionalities you need in your offices very nicely. And I think Copano will tell more about this. By the way, they have written an OpenID Connect server, and we are evaluating that server right now to use it and to go into deeper collaboration with Copano. Here again, the storage. We really have that focus on the storage to push the performance to the limit, to allow you to migrate your storage to other storages, like file storage to S3 storage, for example, to migrate users from one storage to another storage. You can, in future, even migrate data from one ownCloud to another ownCloud, user-based, for example. And the goal, of course, is to have a large geo-distributed scale so that you can work around the whole world, using and utilizing data centers spread around the world. Here again, join the workshop from Jörn about scaling our storage. Hosting and operations becomes more and more important because our product, we never used it before. Now we are launching ownCloud Online, and we need to learn and have the detailed insights about how's ownCloud ready for an operator. I think some of you have more experience with that than us. And we need to learn more about this. We provide today Docker images, latest technology around that. We care about cloud providers. We build up know-how in the AWS and Kubernetes area to provide help and consultant in these large deployment areas. But the product itself also needs to become ready for that. So I think there's something to do, and we will focus on improving our product to become ready for large deployments, for large updates, and also for topics like monitoring, right? You want to see what's happening in your system and if there's something wrong. There's lots of talks about that. This is an important topic for us, and our experts telling you a bit more about our attempts on monitoring and would be interested on what you're doing. And about deployment on Kubernetes and Swarm, Thomas will tell you something about that. And let's have a deep dive into the large deployments on public clouds like AWS. The last item here is where we come from, enterprise file sync and share. But the focus here is not to have files and to share them. The focus here has shifted to the security area, where we, in the latest times, have cared about ransomware attacks and to protect your data, and file classifications. I think there's a talk about file classification from Patrick, document classification and policies. So this is the latest technology on how you can secure your data if you have sensible data. About all the file sync and share functionalities and our improvements and our roadmap, my team will now tell you the details, show you the roadmap. I'm very happy that you can get in touch with the team and have all your questions. Now, Vincent, Oliver, Jesus, Michael, Patrick, at least these guys will show you the latest features and the future roadmap. Thank you, and have fun.